pedal people, this is my rig rundown for 2021, and here is the board I've been using for the last couple months. I kind of expected more to change, honestly, after doing demos and stuff for maybe the last year and a half, but not that much has changed. I've added a few new things, and I think they've been really great additions, but I think in part it's because I enjoy having something that's so familiar and comfortable to come back to after trying new pedals and new sounds, and like using so much brain power to think of ways to incorporate it into my playing and style. It's nice to have something I can come back to that I know I can get specific sounds out of, and I know how to combine them to get what I want, stuff that I like to play, stuff that complements stuff that I like to play, I guess. But yeah, I have made a few new changes, and I've definitely started using a few of these old cornerstones in new ways. So this video I will go through each one, talk about my pedal choices, and then of course play some sounds, show off how I use them, and then at the end I'm going to do a little jam and show how they all work kind of in a song musical context. So that should be fun. But yeah, I am using a Fender thinline Jaguar into a Vox AC15, and let's get into the board. So first, here's my clean tone. I'm playing, like I said, the Vox through the normal channel. Here's what that sounds like. I think I've got my guitar tuned to half a step down. I've been experimenting with different tunings lately, and trying to get myself kind of out of this little creative rut. But yeah, so the first pedal in the chain is the Caroline Shigeharu, and that's been a total staple for a number of years now. I've been using it a lot for, like, surprise, surprise, low gain, textural kind of stuff. Since I've added a third drive pedal, which is this right here, it's freed up the Shigeharu to do more of the textural stuff. Because before I was running it into the boost driver to get kind of like that third level of gain staging, but since I've got 3 dirt pedals now, I can use it low gain and for that warm and fuzzy, but also kind of clangy sound. And I use it a lot on single notes combined with reverb, especially as kind of like a what would you call that? Like maybe like a little break in the song, like a little like pure guitar instrumental. I think it adds such a nice little, like it has a very specific EQ curve. Kind of sounds like there's maybe a little clean blended in there. But yeah, let's play a little bit with that. There's an example of how I use it, like on single note passages and the texture it adds. But then I'll also turn it up sometimes and get some like super fuzzy compressed kind of stuff. And I use this octave blend a little more lately to blend in just a little bit of that more clangy high end. Since I'm running through the Vox, I got the tone control turned down more than I usually do with my Princeton, but the octave is kind of just a cool little thing to play with and get some psychedelic sort of sounds. So I'll show you what that sounds like. So next is the Champion Leccy Skitter, which is, it kind of just jumped up to like one of my all-time favorite pedals. I'm not like the hugest tremolo user, but I think this pedal does it in like a really cool way where you can add, well, it's got onboard reverb as well. And the fun thing is that you can put trem on your dry signal like a normal trem pedal, but if you turn the reverb on too, you can have a separate trem go and affect your wet reverb sound. So with this kilter switch, you can turn it, I think it's in the down position that it offsets the trem timing from the dry and the wet signal, so you get like this little rhythmic chop. So one thing I like to do is turn it up to a square wave and then have like a super hard chop, and then have it kind of like bounce back and forth between the dry and the wet signal, which I think creates like a really cool textural effect. And I like to use it with the Shigeharu for like that super choppy sound. But also I have it early in the chain because I've been using like just the plain reverb a ton alongside these two other drives. I really love how the pre-dirt reverb sounds lately. I've been listening a lot to like Deep Sea Diver, and I feel like I can hear some of that. Like I think Jessica Dobson uses a lot of spring reverb going into like a pushed amp, so she has like that really not like lo-fi, but it's got like that old school kind of sound. So I've been using the Skitter's reverb to run before all my other dirt pedals, and that's been like a really fun sound I've been playing with a lot lately. But also I have it after the Shigeharu for the choppier stuff when I do want to have like that hard hitting tremolo. And I'll stop talking now and show you what it sounds like. Here is the trem, and it's on the dry signal and not the wet. And then I'll flip it up to show you what it sounds like on both. And here's how I've been using it lately, combined with especially the Blues Driver, with the trem off, so just basically the reverb's going here. And yeah, let's hear how that sounds. First, off. And I like how modulated that is. But yeah, mostly using that as a little extra, almost a gain stage, since you can turn up the volume of the dry with that knob. But yeah, that's been like one of my favorite new things, using it a ton lately. Next up after the Skitter, I have the Electro Harmonix Bad Stone, which I just really love phaser. I've been listening to like a lot of War on Drug stuff, and the guy, I forgot his name, he uses like a lot of phaser on stuff, and I just love like the texture it adds. I think his is the Moog 12-stage phaser, but I love the Bad Stone because it's got 6 stages, so a little more than your average 4 or 2-stage phaser. It's a little more rich, and I like that because I run it pre-dirt, and it adds a lot of thickness, and the whoosh isn't too pronounced, which I'm not a huge fan of, like when that you can hear like the whole cycle of the LFO. So it's nice to have that before dirt. And then also it's nice to have after reverb, which I think is one of the coolest sounds ever. Reverb plus phaser. It's very psychedelic. So let me show you what that sounds like. And then another thing I like to do is combine it with the Sea Machine. Phaser and chorus is like such a cool modulated mess, you could say. But I think there's like the chorus adds the detune, which is instantly like noticeable. You really notice when a guitar is like out of tune. But then the phaser kind of adds like this cool EQ sweep that kind of, since I have it usually set at a lowish speed, it like has this like underlying sense of motion that complements the chorus well. So I'll show you what that sounds like. I think that sounds so cool with all these combined, like really spacey kind of stuff. So yeah, I love the Bad Stone for that rich phaser sweep specifically. So next up is one of my all-time favorites, the Boss Blues Driver, and I've tried a ton of boutique pedals over the years, and they've been great. But there's something about the Blues Driver that I just really love. There's like this high-end fizzy, clingy kind of sound that I think it does really well without being like overly trebly or too much of an ice pick kind of sound. Lately I've been using it more low gain than I have in the past because I've been combining it a ton with the Skitter, which I kind of boost the volume just a little bit, and it helps drive this pedal. And I especially love that on chords and stuff. It's like a really thick sound. I just like love like strumming a big chord and hearing it ring out. Like it's got like this such a satisfying harmonic addition. That sounded really snobby, but I don't know how to describe that, but I will show you how that sounds. Here it is. Really good. It's so satisfying to play. But yeah, that is the Blues Driver. Next up is the Fairfield Accountant, which has also been a long-time staple on my board. It is really the end-all be-all compressor for me. I love it because it adds so much character, and it's really great when I turn it on along with other pedals. I actually have it dialed in for like kind of, well, a pretty significant amount of compression to really squeeze the signal and change up the sound. But it's great because it's so punchy. Like I can use that to, if I've got a really dense mix going on, I get like turn on the Accountant and I know that that part is going to jump out right in front. Sometimes I'll turn it down to a more subtle setting if I just want like a pure volume boost. I don't want to like have that sort of limiting effect it has with dirt pedals and stuff. But for the most part, I do keep it on a pretty crunchy, pretty gritty, high compression setting. But here is what that sounds like. And it's great for finger picking as well. I've been doing a lot of that lately. Not very good, but I've been doing finger picking. Here's what it sounds like. Like a certain warmth and roundness that comes with that, which I really enjoy from this pedal. But the other way I've been using it is combined with the Blues Driver and the Skitter for like that long drawn out but kind of gritty sound, like as if I had turned the gain on my amp up a little bit. So here is what that sounds like. That is just so satisfying to play. But yeah, I love the Accountant, and I don't really see it leaving anytime ever. After that, I go to the Polytune, which is a tuner and it tunes, and that is great. And there's not much else to say about that. Right after the Polytune, I go to the EQD Sea Machine, which has been on my board like the last year or 2 years. I can't quite remember. But I like it a lot because it's a huge departure from like the choruses that I used to use, and it's got like kind of a slapback sound to it, which is a little, sometimes it can be a little off-putting, especially on like those quick arpeggiated lines. But also I think it does a lot more like detuning seasick effect than like say a CE2 does, which I like because it instantly makes a part stand out. Like your brain really notices when something is out of tune, and I like the Sea Machine for that because it's got the separate animate and depth control so that you can kind of like fine tune how detuned it is, and I think that's really cool. And it also sounds kind of more flange-like than a few of the other choruses I've had. I think it's just how it's voiced, but I like that especially with Dirt because it's got like not so much that narrowing effect that a typical chorus has. It's got more of like a wider sound, kind of like, not that it sounds like a DC2, but a similar effect without running stereo. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I use it a lot on melody lines, and here is what that sounds like. course, it sounds best combined with a bunch of other stuff, so let's do some of that. That's always fun. And then of course, combined with the dirt pedals, it's just like such a weird little swishy detune sound. Let me show you what that sounds like. Yeah, so it's got like that little widening effect, and I think that's like a very interesting texture that I haven't been able to really pull out of a lot of other chorus pedals. So yeah, that's the Sea Machine. The next pedal is this mystery pedal, which is the Electronic Audio Experiments Halberd. This is the prototype for the next version that John was able to slim down into a smaller enclosure and also add this three-way toggle, which is really cool. The middle position is the classic Halberd sounds. In the up position, it's more of like a clangy, twangy, mid-pushed boost with like a little more bit of a focused gain structure and a lot of boosting power. And then the bottom position, which is where I leave it, is the Halberd Plus extra gain, which I really appreciate because I play super low output pickups, and I was kind of surprised at the original Halberd. Like, I thought it would be more gainy, but with my setup specifically, it was like almost like a low to medium gain overdrive. So I was forced to use it a little more texturally than I had initially thought. But with the new one, I have a ton of gain on tap. I can actually like get this thing going really distorted and into that like blown out fuzz territory, which I love. But yeah, having it on the board, testing it out and stuff, has kind of made me appreciate more like the more messy, like totally in your face distortion sounds. Since I have it after reverb and after the chorus especially, it's just like it turns that into like such a big wide sound that I don't usually get from these two, because they kind of lop off some low end, and even though I do like that sound, I feel like it makes my playing sound very precise, I think you could say. But with the Halberd, since it has so much like low mids and this like super punchy sound, it like, and how much it distorts and stuff, that's been like a really refreshing thing to like just get messy sometimes. So yeah, I really appreciate how this pedal kind of has single-handedly changed things up for me. But yeah, here is how it sounds. I can get like really like into it with that pedal. But yeah, I really love this new version, and especially with the toggle switches, how it works a little better for me and my rig. Something I do want to mention is I really love the up position on the toggle. I think a lot of people will enjoy that, and that was like one of the sounds when I first turned it on. I was like, oh shit. It's like super versatile and great sounding pedal. So thanks to John for letting me test drive this out, and it's gonna be on here for a while. The Halberd goes into the Space Echo, which is the second to last pedal in the chain. And if you know me, you know the Space Echo is one of my favorite things ever. I've had a few delays, and while I like having more options, I guess, in something that has different modes and or like something that's warmer and more natural sounding, the Space Echo I just always come back to as a it's a dreamy pedal, and it kind of fits with everything I play. I like that it has these EQ settings. I leave it there most of the time because I find that works with most things that I do. And I like that it has multi-head modes that are really easy. Overall, the pedal is just easy to dial in, easy to find things that I like. And when it's not in my chain, I do kind of miss this input volume thing. There's like a certain sound that it adds that I do miss when it's not here. So here's what it sounds like. Finally, we've got the last pedal in the chain. I'm sorry this video has been so darn long, but this is the Ghost Echo, and that's been a staple on my board for a long time. I really love how it's got like this little bit of boosted adds. It makes dirt pedals going into it sound a little different, and the other thing why I like it so much is because it's like a very dark reverb. Like it really hangs back, and I appreciate the contrast between this and then this being somewhat brighter, especially with the dirt. This is like a nice way to add some background ambience without it like overtaking the entire sound, which I appreciate, especially with the attack control. You can put in how much pre-delay you want. But yeah, it's simple and easy, and it sounds really great. It's got the perfect amount of modulation, so I love it a lot. And here is what it sounds like. customize the whole board. So now I'm gonna get to doing a little song. Usually I do the song on my looper pedal and I just improvise something there, but I honestly haven't been using that too much lately. The looper has been more for sketching out ideas, and then I take that and I do the recording. So I'm not going to do the looper pedal this year, but I'm going to play a whole song, and we'll see how that goes. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the song.